morning. Good morning. How are you? Welcome in. It is so good to see you guys. I'm remembering I can actually do something here. So, how are you doing? Happy Monday, you guys. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? Hey, if you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay. Let me know where you're coming in from. You know, I love knowing everybody's coming in from. And today we're going to touch on the topic of anxiety and metabolic signals. So, if that's a little something you want to know about, and even if it's not, you know what, we get into so many things. Who am I fooling? But we do a lot of Q&A too here. So don't miss out on that. I can like my Minnesota accent this morning. What's up with that? Maybe it's because it's like 5 below out. Is that what that is? I'm just kidding, but I mean, it's kind of funny. Arizona, yay, good to see you. Very good to see you. Okay, so this weekend, let's see here. What did you guys do? I would love to know. I did get a little bit of shopping in. I had to go shop for a dress. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that works. Let me know if anything is not quite right with my audio on Instagram. Good morning, Terry. Good to see you. You're in for a bit and then you'll catch the rest on replay. You're amazing, Terry. Good to see you. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. So, so busy weekends. You know, we always have busy. Good morning, Patty. Sweet lady from California. Good to see you. Good morning, Geraldine. Good morning. Very good to see you guys. So, so as I was saying, this whole Minnesota weather, woohoo, it's very chilly out, very chilly. It'll keep you awake. That's for dang sure. But anyway, okay. But for those who do not know who I am, my name is Kirsten Liebelt and I live in Minnesota. And that was my Minnesota accent. I can hear it in myself sometimes so strongly. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of weird. But anyway, and I grew up in an Italian family. There's actually a section of Minneapolis that at the time used to be really heavy, like all the Italians lived there. And that's where I was until I was about 4 years old. And then we moved to a suburb. My mother, who was 100% Swedish, moved us out into the boonies, which is not the boonies anymore, but she did. And we basically, you know, grew up around our Italian family who very culturally, a lot of obesity, a lot of type 2 diabetes, a lot of really, men with very, very big bellies, and very little teeny tiny waists because they wore their pants down below their bellies, right? And then they would argue about who had a 32-inch waist. I mean, it's hysterical. I mean, not really, but at the time it was like, that's ridiculous, right? So Sue, good morning. Good morning, Marilyn. Good to see you. And so it just, was my world and I didn't know any different. But I think that over time, all of the hospital visits and all of the, people being sick and medicated and all of the things, and really most specifically with my dad, I think that there was just something inside of me that said there has to be a better way. This can't possibly be just how this goes. And I was right. I suppose God gave me the thought process and I'm like, thank you, Lord, because I needed to be able to believe in something other than the answer of it's just genetic. It's just your genetics. I mean, just beer belly, Sue said. Yep, beer bellies. Good morning, sweetie. Magda, good to see you. Not sure if I answer these kind of questions, but why are grains and lentils not good for us? Okay, well, I will answer that quickly, but then I want to get into content. But yes, I do answer questions exactly like that. God did not make bad food. He did not make bad food. And in fact, maybe we'll just preface today because with a little bit of just a little 101. And the reason why is because insulin resistance 101. Because this is why a lot of people are still dealing with things like anxiety, which is what we'll talk about today, or they're dealing with, I'm going to see if I can move my microphone without messing it up. Okay, I think I did it. Yep, I did it. Anxiety or dealing with depression. All of the regular symptoms of acid reflux and all of this stuff is because Insulin Resistance 101 says this, that your pancreas releases insulin to deal with the energy that you're giving your body. Most of the time when we're going to talk about food, even though other things can raise your insulin, that's for another day, okay? So let's just only talk about food for a second. So your pancreas releases insulin to go and get the energy that you just gave it. So if you give it, like you drink an orange juice and it's like a tap right into your it's like an IV right into your veins, right into your bloodstream. You're giving your body a ton of energy, like a ton of energy. And your pancreas has to release a proper amount of insulin to go get that energy and take it into your cell. Okay. But the problem is that over time, when your cell is now not receiving insulin anymore, it kind of locked the door and it like threw away the key. Well, okay, it didn't throw it away, but it hid it. It hid it under the mat. When your cell cannot take in that insulin anymore, number one, your body thinks I didn't make enough insulin, so it makes more. And number two, all of that excess energy up here that you're giving it because you're drinking a sugared Starbucks, you're eating a scone, you're eating any food that has high carbohydrates. And unfortunately, beans, they have a lot of carbohydrates. And so like a cup of black beans or kidney beans or whatever, like 45 grams of carbs. So it's just while you're in insulin resistance land. It doesn't mean forever. It just means that you have to pay attention, because otherwise you're going to spiral. You're going to do this. You're going to spin and you're going to be so dang frustrated. Why can't I move forward? And there are tips and tricks and all sorts of things that people will teach and whatever. I just am more Maria Emmerich, where we're gonna ditch grains and sugars and legumes, and we're gonna get your body functioning again. And just telling you, it's a really big key, because the medical community will tell you that you can have 45, 50 grams of carbs per meal as a type 2 person. That is not true, not if you want to get off of meds, in my opinion, from what I've understood. So when you listen to people like Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Philip Ovadia, who's a heart surgeon, and he's had 3,000 heart surgeries that he's performed, Maria Emmerich, etc., they will tell you and help you to understand that in order to really tamp down that energy and tamp down that insulin that's chasing after that energy, when you go way, way, way low carb with really good proteins, you're still focusing on protein, you're focusing on meat and eggs, etc., really good fats, not the seed oils, you are going to get a different result, because it's this insulin that is keeping your world in a spiral. Too much insulin. It's like a Pac-Man. And after a while, your pancreas gets tired. Your cells have turned off. They're not listening anymore. La, 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 la. You're storing fat, but unfortunately, it's not just the fat that's your double chin. It's the fat that's around your organs. It's your trunk. Okay. So when you're storing fat in your trunk, that's the visceral fat. That's the dangerous fat. And we address all of this with food and supplementation so that you can turn it around and get your freaking life back. Like today, I'm going to talk about anxiety, but the reason why is because I now have people who are on the total body reset and they've gotten rid of their anxiety. Well, raise your hand if that's you. You don't have to literally, but in your mind, raise your hand if that's you or somebody that needs help with their anxiety. Like, this is a really big deal. So if you stay in your spiral, how frustrating is that? Okay, so God did not make bad food. We have created a situation. And I always say it like this, like you walk into insulin resistant land and you look around, you're like, oh, I don't want to be here. This land is filled with like anxiety, depression, medication, surgeries, kidney dialysis, gout. Oh my gosh, fatty liver, PCOS, high blood pressure. Oh, I don't like this land. I don't like this land. And you're wanting to back out. Just like, I won't be living here anymore. See you later. And you back out, but you have to be your own advocate. You have to take advantage. You have to take back your own mindfulness, your own, what's the word that I want to think about here? Tenacity to really kind of rip it back and say, I'm going to take advantage of alternative methods. I'm going to take advantage of natural things that God gave me, because my body was actually created to heal. My body was actually created to function, and it will fight for function. So I know that was kind of a little bit of a tangent, but I'm telling you, you guys, if you can grasp the understanding that your body is so fearfully and wonderfully made that it literally already has this most amazing system already set up. And we were never meant, in my opinion, to silo those systems. Go to this doctor for this and this. So you're going to go to your, you're going to go to a psychologist or a therapist because you're depressed. You're going to go to, you've got gut issues and you've got digestive issues. So you're going to go to your gastroenterologist. And I'm not putting down specialists and people who have spent all of that time and money and effort. We need them. But I just don't think that the average person was meant to have 5 specialists at their disposal because they can't get their life together. And then you're sent to this specialist for this and this specialist for this and this specialist for this. Well, what if it was already made, our bodies, to be very intertwined and very very connected, more like a motherboard? What if that's how our body was made? So actually, we just need to feed the systems that produce the results. Okay, so this goes right into the whole anxiety piece, because listen, if you don't understand how to maybe help your gut, and your gut is what needs to create the GABA in order for so that you can have the calm, then you're thinking that you just need to take an anti-anxiety pill. And again, I'm not a doctor, so I am not telling anybody to do anything. I'm just saying there's research to be done. There's assessment to be done for yourself, for your own body, for your own function, so that you can change things, so that you can move forward. I mean, I can't even tell you. I'll be 61 here soon. I was on such a train towards type 2 diabetes. It's just not even funny. My dad took his 50s and he went totally south in his health, and he upped all of his medications. Up. His health continued to go south. And at 63, dead, gone. That was it. Okay. And in the meantime, it was heart surgeries and hospital stays and kidney dialysis and all of the things, right? So I took my 50s as a 2X in size. Okay. Total sugar addict. Had already been gestational diabetic with my first baby 30 years prior, a little less than 30. I should have been type 2. Should have been. I already was experiencing that anxiety. Had no idea that had anything to do with my gut, insulin resistance. What? No, I knew none of that. But you hit perimenopause and things go upside down. And I know a lot of us are past that. But if you look back at when your symptoms started to really show up, there you go. That anxiety. And you're like, am I just a nervous Nelly like my mom? What is happening? I've never been nervous like this before. And our first line of defense as a society is, I'm going to go to my doctor and have my doctor help me with this by giving me a script. Well, what if your gut, and I'm not saying this is, because again, I understand. I'm just your friend, right? I'm just your girlfriend having a cup of coffee with you. I just want to give you things to think about. Okay. And actually mine is water with my really big bottle that you guys know about. I hope you have coffee. Maybe you do. What if? And every day I want to come and say, what if? What if you can bring down your insulin and finally burn fat? What if you can get your liver to function and finally burn fat? What if you could be like somebody on here who's gotten off of 10 meds? What if your fatty liver went from bad to mild? What if, what is on Friday? 2 of you said your vertigo went away when you started the total body reset. What? Like, we don't think that way. We only think in terms of meds because we've been trained to think that way. But now you and I, total novices, potentially, like I just assume everybody's like me and you just didn't know anything. I mean, hug a tree, like that was not me. Mine was more like, hug a bag of sugar. I was never a granola person. I was never, ever, ever any of the, like now you see me with like, here's I'm organized now, right? So here's my organization of, my supplementation. Like my picture was the least likely ever. Like if there was a, if there was a school, like a yearbook for women in their 40s to be the least likely to ever get a handle on their health and to ever actually become a disciplined, routine person to take supplementation and change the way they eat, that would be me, least likely ever. So anyway, that was a long answer, but I mean, I'm just telling you, so the legumes and the lentils and etc., they're just really high in carbs. And so if we're really trying to make efforts to get that insulin down so we can have a better result and get our body to deliver a different result, it's just a mindfulness of saying that's not helpful. And that doesn't even cover the issues with people who already have severe digestive issues. And that's not helping. Hate to tell you, it's not helping people. Shannon, hi, happy Monday. Good morning, Luana. Are you surviving the Minnesota cold? Oy vey, oy vey. So, but let's get right into the anxiety then, because we just kind of touched on it. So, so you're at a potential barrier. Your system is not reacting well to meat. Chicken is a little better, but not great. Not know what to eat. How about eggs? How are eggs for you? How about like Fage full fat Greek yogurt? Good Minnesota morning, Linda. Good morning, Susan. Good to see you. Good to see you. And yeah, and fish and shrimp, good sources of protein. You can also do, like I do, a whey protein powder that's sweetened with stevia. That's a very good one. Eggs are good. You can do a lot with eggs, a lot, including egg whites used for the egg white bread and or like the sugar-free chocolate pudding. You can do a lot of really good stuff with eggs. They'll take you a long way. Remember the commercial that said the incredible edible egg? They actually really are. They actually really are. They have everything we need. Like, they're so good. Eggs are so good. Hi, Barb. Good to see you. Luana says, burr. I know. I haven't gone outside, Luana. I'm just going to stay inside. That's not true. I have to go to the chiropractor. Oh, I'll put on my down coat. I'll be fine. Luana says she loves eggs. I know. I'm really grateful because for those who do have egg allergies, I always feel really bad because it's an incredible way to level up your protein and to get so many really good, like a very important nutrients into your body. Like they're like little bombshells of goodness. But anyway, okay, so let's just chat about this for a second, because I know that maybe you've heard me talk about some of the people who have, their anxiety went away, et cetera. And you're like, well, how does that happen? And what about me? Or maybe you have a friend that has really dealt, or, like a spouse or whatever, because who knew that anxiety wasn't supposed to just be normal? And I know that we have a lot going on in our world that can create anxiety all by itself. Like I've mentioned this before, we weren't meant to live with this kind of a like fight or flight mode all the time, scrolling on our phones and then the news and the news and the news. And we really pretty much now live in a society where we don't even know what's true. And especially with AI and blah, 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 all of these things kind of like, they bug us inside, and we might not even understand that they're kind of grating on us a little bit. But then there's this underlying anxiety that it's like, wow, what if you could just take the edge off of that? Wouldn't that feel really, really good? Okay. And that is, and not just being brought to you by external forces, but there's something not quite right inside. You're like, this isn't who I used to be. I was never this anxious person. Or maybe you have had anxious bouts and you never knew why, but you've never focused on your liver, your gut, etc. Okay. So it's not the kind that we label as who we are, but the kind that quietly shows up. This is how you can pay attention in your world: after meals, during the night, or when sugar cravings hit. So do you feel that way sometimes when a sugar craving hit and you feel a little bit of anxiety? What if anxiety isn't your personality? What if it's a metabolic signal? Okay. So I want to share with you Kim's story because it explains this better than any textbook ever could. And we've talked about Kim's story before, but it's been a while. So hold on just a second. Okay. So she had dealt with constipation since she was a little girl, lifelong. She had even landed in the ER with severe constipation and nothing helped. This is somebody who reached out to me. She started the total body reset, and within 1 month, she put it on auto ship. She's like, holy cow. I need to work on healing my body right now. So her whole life now, she's 70 and she's a massage therapist. And so her whole life is her whole life, right? She had done Weight Watchers. She ate all the right foods. She ate lots of greens and she ate lots of beans. Okay. So she was really doing a lot of, grains and beans. She was doing a lot of grains and a lot of beans as she was following kind of like that Weight Watcher model. And again, I'm not putting down a company. I'm just telling you that when you're insulin resistant, some of those changes might need to be outside of that. Okay. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of grains, a lot of beans, but her cramping would not stop. The anxiety didn't stop. The sugar cravings didn't stop. And then after a little over a month on the total body reset, what happened was her anxiety is gone. Her sugar cravings are gone. Her ears don't itch anymore. That tells you it was something going on in her gut, right? She's down 1 inch in her waist and her chest. Now she's on her 2nd month now, so she's probably even better now, right? She's had 0 cramps. For her and her digestive system, that was a huge deal because of the way that her life had been since she was a little girl. A little girl. Can you imagine, right? She feels so good. She signed up for the 6 months. I told you that, not because she was told to, because of course I would never tell somebody just to do it, but because she finally feels calm. Can you imagine? Like, this didn't take a team of docs to figure out for her, right? But this is the best part that matters. When you have normalized things like feeling anxious for no reason, when you have normalized, like, this is what we've done, feeling wired but exhausted, we're kind of like, we just live in fight or flight and we think nothing of it, right? When we've normalized feeling calm when we eat sugar. And isn't that interesting that we always say that sugar hypes up kids? But when you are kind of addicted to sugar, it's that hit, right? It's that hit that comes. Feeling tense in our body, even when life is fine. We just learned how to tighten up a little bit. And we tell ourselves, oh, it's just a little stress. Or we just got out of the holidays. Oh, it's just the holidays. It's just my age. It's just me. It's just who I am. I'm tightly wound or whatever. But what if it's not? So there's this connection with insulin resistance and anxiety. There's a connection between the two. When insulin stays high, we just got done talking about this, right? Got done talking about when insulin is high, blood sugar becomes very unstable. So it's kind of doing this a little bit, right? It's like very unstable. When blood sugar drops, adrenaline and cortisol spike. So remember, your body is made to be constantly seeking balance, constantly be seeking, that middle of the road, so to speak. So when your blood sugar crashes, because it's unstable and then it crashes, your body kicks in adrenaline and cortisol to compensate. But now cortisol tells your brain something is wrong. Okay. Then your brain responds with racing thoughts, irritability, panic. Maybe you're waking up at night. Maybe you have intense sugar cravings, right? This is why anxiety often shows up after you eat. Maybe it hits in the evening time. Maybe it wakes you up at 2 to 4 a.m. A little bit of anxiety here and there, right? And it feels worse when you try to eat clean, but you're still relying on carbs. So this is where that conversation is so perfect, because people are like, but I'm eating clean, I'm eating healthy, but you're eating according to a system that is not maybe talking to you through the lens, change your glasses, through the lens of insulin resistance. Okay. So going back to, let's say, Weight Watchers, they don't have a bad system. It's just not created for the insulin resistant person. So she was eating a ton of grains and a ton of beans, following a program. But for her, she still had anxiety, sugar cravings, cramping, constipation. She still had all the things. Why? Right? So she had to turn that back around. So an anxious brain is often a fuel deprived brain. A fuel deprived brain. She didn't just calm her mind, she literally calmed her biology, what was going on inside, so that it was telling her brain the right things. So her body was saying, okay, we're safe now. Okay. It's just an internal, it's just the way your body is made to respond. Okay. It's not, anyway, I don't have to go there. I have to edit myself, right? Because otherwise I'll go down a rabbit trail. So insulin stopped screaming at her cells. Her gut stopped being inflamed and backed up. Her liver wasn't overloaded anymore. Her nervous system felt safe, finally. All right. So when the body feels safe, anxiety then kind of like has nothing to say. Like your body feels safe. Anxiety is like, la, 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 right? You can stop that, right? So sometimes, like even now, here we are only like, what are we? Almost 3 weeks after, the new year. There could have had so much stress over the holidays, financial stress, family stress. There's food stress. We talked a lot about that in December. Sleep disruption, dealing with all those food bullies we talked about. And for many women, anxiety didn't just start, it got super loud over the holidays. And now maybe you find yourself like, I'm still just not quite back to where I need to be. And it's kind of like, sometimes it's a wake-up call for how we're going to do holidays differently next year. Like we're not going to maybe have certain things that we say yes to or whatever. We won't go into that. That's not what today's all about. But, loud doesn't mean permanent. Just because your anxiety got loud for a moment, for a half a minute, doesn't mean that it's permanent. Doesn't mean it has to stay that way. I mean, seriously, like that was so fast for Kim to turn around. Not everybody else's story will be the same, no doubt. But within 1 month, she was like, my anxiety is gone. My sugar cravings are gone. My constipation is gone. My cramping is gone. I am in, right? Well, she took a chance, whatever that chance was in her brain, and she's like, okay, well, at least there's a 6-month guarantee, but what does that do to now change the way she's functioning day to day, enjoying her life? Not managing anxiety, not managing all the cramping and the digestive issues. 70, a massage therapist. Do you think maybe your digestive issues are a little in your way if you're massaging people all the time? Like, that's not the best, right? So, Susan, you're so sweet. Everything you teach us makes so much sense. I'm glad, but this is because I'm a simple person, you guys. Like, I don't know how else to say this, but I came to the table knowing freaking nothing. And I just kept being like, well, if that's true, then I don't understand. Like, I think it took me a long time to wake up to realize that nobody from the medical industry, nobody from the Matrix was actually going to teach us any of this stuff, because that wasn't their job. Their job wasn't to teach us the understanding behind anything. Their job was to sign the prescription. And I know that that's maybe a bleak look at the medical industry, but That's just the protocol. It doesn't mean the person is bad. It means the industry is broken. Like, what the heck? We women were very intuitive. We knew exactly when we were going to get our periods when we were, teenagers. We paid attention to our bodies, and somewhere down the road, we handed over that attention to a medical community that had no interest in teaching us how, why, what can you do? Take back your life. What if you got to enjoy your marriage and your grandbabies and traveling and making more memories, and you felt better in pictures, and you didn't have to have a pillow in your lap anymore, and you, whatever, like, who else is caring about any of that stuff, right? We have to do this for ourselves so that we can actually, my dad's life was cut so freaking short. 63. My kids were 6'3" and 6 months old. They didn't even get to know that eccentric Italian grandpa. How sad is that? How dumb is that? Over something that was never terminal. How dumb. That's stupid. So I'm done playing with their stupid system that has not changed. He's been dead for 30 years, has not changed. Nope. In fact, just more meds. That's what's changed. More meds. That's it. All of the research, all of the, the American Diabetes Association, blah, blah, blah. You've given us nothing. I know that's being very dramatic. But like, what has changed? If we're fatter than we've ever been, sicker than we've ever been, more medicated than we've ever been, what has changed? And has our quality of life then changed? And if not, what's more important? What do you think about when you're on your deathbed? Do you think about what you accomplished, or do you think about your family? Do you think about the memories? That's what I'm wanting to get back for people. Like 5 years from now, you'll be like, I don't know whatever happened to that Kirsten lady. But I'll tell you, I feel so good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I took a moment in time, a short period of time, even if it's 1 or 2 years. I took a period of time and I turned back the metabolic dysfunction that was going on in my body. And I bought back all of these memories. And here I am now on the floor with my grandbabies. I'm traveling with my family. I'm like, I don't manage anxiety all day long. Wow. My body, it feels like it's really running. It's functioning. This is crazy. That's what I want for people, right? So, you know what, if you've normalized your anxiety, if you've normalized, thinking that it's just stress, stuff like that. You've tried to eat better, but you still feel off. That was Kim. She was eating better. She was following a system, a program, but it was filled with grains and legumes. And for her, no bueno. No bueno, did not serve her. Just telling you, right? So your body is like, it doesn't need more willpower. It needs metabolic support. It needs help in that arena. Does that make sense to people? So hold on. Let me see what we got going on. Sue, you finally have lowered blood sugars. Good for you, Sue. Does not feel good. Does not feel good. So Shannon, I hope it's all right to mention that yogurt, it's going back to ground floor with it. Grass-fed is very important, or else you are eating yogurt made with dairy that the cow was fed grains. Yep, I know. And all of these steps, right? Mm-hmm. It is true. You make your own yogurt. My daughter does that too. She actually makes it from raw milk. She does a really good job with that. Mm-hmm. Yep, I know. Bulgarian. Interesting. Yep, and we do eat, pasture-raised chicken. I know, right? It's true, though. It's true, and all of these steps matter. You want to start tomorrow. Well, I can help you. I know. I'm telling you. These are just pieces. So let me just quickly now, let's shift for just a second. So we spent a lot of time talking about the food. And in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, that is where I do teach the food. We have another free 5-day challenge coming up February 2nd through it took me a while to get that right, 2nd through the 6th. And we've done this for 2.5 years, you guys. Okay, 2.5 years. And So I just want you to know that there is an actual properly laid out support system. Good morning, Phyllis. Good to see you. Good to see you. So that you have somebody that can walk journey with you. Like this is really important, right? And that's the whole food piece of it. But for somebody who does want, you're like, I need my effort to match my results. Like my effort is not matching my progress. Like it feels like it's like this instead of like this. And I feel like that's where Kim was. She was very much like, my efforts are not matching my progress. And I've literally been trying this for my entire life. And that's a very frustrating place to be. Okay. So when I talk to you guys about the total body reset, the reason why I'm so adamant about knowing what I know, it's like, I know that I know that I know that I know. It's because of the results that people are able to get and the way that you're able to put your body into a position where it can finally deliver you a different result. And if that different result for you needs to be that you're getting your gut set up so that you can maybe, instead of having a result of anxiety, which is maybe already going on in your body or whatever, what if this shifted things? Okay. So everything that I'm going to show you here is just 6 pieces. I'll tell you exactly where I started as a 2X in size. And you know what? 6-month guarantee on all the products. And if you would think in terms of a 90-day run, I think you would be very pleased for the bonuses that they have right now. So there you go. Jan, you're so funny. Jan, you're hysterical. I don't know what happened last week, but I missed 4 of your lives. So yesterday I had a Kirsten Liebelt marathon. You are so funny. Well, I hope you were doing something good and fun while you were listening to me chatter. That is really fun. You've made a lot of mistakes, tried a lot of things, but I haven't given up. You want to feel better. I know, but that was me too. Literally, I did everything under the sun. I was very ignorant. And it's because of people like Dr. Ken Berry and Maria Emmerich and, Dr. Philip Ovadia putting his stuff online, things like that. It's because of that I've had the chance to be able to research and, help people to understand that when done correctly, when done well, you really can use some simple tools to shift the way that your body is functioning and get a different result. It's very exciting to me because the ironing, good for you, Jan. Oh man, I say I missed something because Shannon, I'm not seeing. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, Marla, that is fantastic. So Marla says, good morning. I just returned from the eye doctor. His words, Marla, your eyes don't know you have diabetes. So thankful for a good report. Yay. That's awesome, Marla. I love that so much. I'm telling you, like this matters. My dad, he was actually probably, well, according to my mother, because I would not have known, but according to my mother, he was not far away from having partial amputations, probably in his toes, I'm thinking. That's where he was at. But anyway, so when I was a 2X in size and I was at the beginning of my 50s, I actually started with these 3. I call these the trio because of them being 3, right? This one helps with your insulin and your sugars. And don't ever forget that if you have high insulin, you can't burn fat. So don't be so frustrated and hard on yourself. Just know that you've got to focus on your insulin, okay? And then your liver, you cannot burn fat if you have a sluggish liver. And the chances of us having a sluggish liver are extraordinarily high, like everybody. We have such a high fatty liver. What's my word? A high fatty liver incidence in our society. It's obnoxious. So liver, and then this one is for your metabolism. So this one is 3 a day, and then 2 a day, and then 2 a day. Very simplistic. And those are the only pills that are in the total body reset. Then we have a gut primer. This is where, in fact, I came across one of my testimonies this morning that she just said, oh man, I wish I would have saved it. But she was basically saying like that gut primer, I was always so stuck and backed up and whatever. And she's like, wow. So this is not just a greens product. And you have to understand that because it's very comprehensive. I feel like the view of it is very deceiving because you might be like, well, I've tried some green stuff. I put some green stuff in my, in my shake or whatever. That's not this. This is a gastrointestinal primer that works on your nutrient absorption, that works on digesting properly, that works on supporting your liver on a completely different level. Okay, so it's like, pre and postbiotics and digestive enzymes and alkaline spices and, extracts of concentrated fruits and vegetables, and all of the greens are already fermented for you. It's been done for you. So if you're looking for a done for you thought process, that's this. So 1 scoop, and I put it in water every morning. It's very green tea, not my favorite, but I'm such a function person that I don't care. So it's turmeric-y, gingery, everything's off of organic farms, but I put it in about this much water. I already did mine this morning, this much water, and I take it like a wellness shot. I froth it up. It's not grainy. It's not thick or sludgy or anything weird. The only downside, in my opinion, is that it doesn't taste like chocolate. So sometimes people are adding lemon or cinnamon, or I have in my water, I already have aminos in my water, berry flavored, or I have a sugar-free electrolyte that I'm looking for it. I can't see it here. And I can add flavor to it if I want to do that. So that's what this is. This is the gut primer. That's the 4th product. The 5th product is the 5-strain probiotic. Now remember, well, maybe you don't, because if you haven't seen my stories. So in my stories, I posted a bunch of content this morning about the gut and about how when you do not have a healthy gut, 90% of your happiness serotonin chemical is created in your gut. 90 freaking percent. That is super duper high, right? And your gut, when you have the proper bacteria in your gut, it will produce naturally, because your body's created to produce, right? It will produce naturally GABA. That's for your calm. It'll produce serotonin. That's for your happiness. It'll produce dopamine, which is for your motivation in life. Like, you want to get up and do things. So your gut is like your central piece of what you need to be focusing on. And insulin resistance causes leaky gut. So why do you think I sourced 2 pieces specifically for your gut? Okay, so the primer and then the probiotic. This is just a powder. Put it on your tongue. And then the last product that I sourced for you guys is the orange pixie stick. And it's because, now this was created for the sports nutrition line, but I snagged it out of there because it targets your visceral fat. And you just have got to understand, you cannot exercise your visceral fat away. You cannot you can't do enough cardio. Your lungs will not affect your visceral fat. Okay, so that's just how that goes. So visceral fat, that's where when you have high insulin and it can't bring the energy into the cell, and it's a fat storing hormone, and it lays down fat. It's laying down fat right under your boobs here, all the way down through your hips. It's laying it all the way down in here. Okay, and this area is that dangerous fat. Okay, it's the fat that is inflammatory. It's active. It's alive. It's active. It's emitting hormones. It's messing you up. You don't even know what's messing you up. So when you start to lose the inches, when you start to measure with the total body reset, then you measure like right here under your boobs, on your waist, on your hips, measure these 3 areas so that you can see you can have actual results. Like Kim, after 1 month, she lost an inch off of those areas. Okay, that's super common and normal, but it tells you something's happening inside, because the scale isn't going to show that right away. That's just reality. Visceral fat actually doesn't weigh a lot. Guess what weighs a lot? Muscle. So you've got to shift your head a little bit to go, okay, I'm going to get my liver functioning. I'm going to get my insulin down. I'm going to get my visceral fat to go away. And I'm not going to hold my life hostage to the number on the scale anymore, because the pounds are not the first thing to show up. I know it's so painful for us to think that way, but it's not the pounds. Okay? Just to let you know. Now, some people do lose a lot of weight right away. I don't know, maybe because their body was more positioned already, right? Because it has nothing to do with age. We know that. Why did Claudette lose 45 pounds in 5 months? She's 74. Why? Her body was maybe in a different position. I don't know. So there are different things that you can do, though. So I'm just telling you. So those 6, yes, fermentation is so great. The primer, yeah. Had some this morning. Quick gulp. Good to go. Yes, Lori. Good for you, though. Yes. I know. Oh, Ruth. Ruthie. She feels so stable on the trio. Actually, take 4 per day. Oh, keeps you super stable. Yes, yes, yes. So what she's talking about is taking extra of the glucose product, which is this one right here. This one right here. So some of you, you've heard me talk about it. I don't talk about it all the time, but I do have a friend who, she made really great strides. Instead of taking 1 of these 3 times a day, she took 2 of these 3 times a day. So that's just what she did. But anyway, so these 6 are the total body reset. Okay. That's what we got going here. Now, just to give you some logistics of that here. I didn't want to hit that with my hand. Let me give you just a couple logistics. Number 1, all year long, you can do, when you purchase 150 or more, 3 months in a row, you get $75 off your third order. Just make sure you're a registered customer. So many of you are literally doing 3 months cash in, 3 months cash in, 3 months cash in, and you're literally getting paid for your wellness journey. Nobody else will do that for you, because your FSA, your HSA, most of the time you cannot hand in supplemental receipts. You certainly can't code it to an insurance company. You're just going to have to do this on your own. But to have somebody reward you for your consistency is like, it's money in the bank for yourself. It's so that then you can take that extra money and maybe you go and you purchase, some sugar-free electrolytes or some egg white protein powder, or maybe you get yourself an opportunity to finally be organized at 60 years old. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know what it is for you. I don't know. I mean, I might be a slow turtle, but at least I'm getting there, right? But for anybody who's like, I want to, like you were saying, I want to start right now. I want to do this right now. Listen to me. January is such a good opportunity because it's the last time that you can actually get started. And then in February, they're going to give you a New Year's bonus of $50 off. So doing 90 days right now, starting right now, takes you all the way to the middle of April. Well, the middle of April, hello, like that's spring, it's summer, it's tulips, it's you're wanting to maybe wear lighter clothing. You're like 90 days takes you into an entire new season right now. And in the meantime, you will have gotten $50 off in February, $75 off in March. And here you are now able to assess yourself. You're still only halfway through your money back guarantee. You're only halfway through. No other company gives you 6 months. Nobody. They sound excited to give you a 30-day, and you get a 30-day money back guarantee. That is a joke. How about 180 days to actually see what your body will do with something, to actually see if your body will begin that process of turning around? And is it going to be overnight? No, it's not. It's not. It's not how this works. You don't just erase visceral fat. You don't just, pop a cork and your insulin comes right down. I mean, it's not how this goes. We have to take it one step at a time, and that's why we have to do it together. And it works that way for so many of you, where we've just locked arms and we've done it together. So weight loss is so turtle for me, Patty says. I know. It's just true, but I know. It has not been my fastest thing. It hasn't. Yep. Hasn't. Oh, you're in Canada. So if you're in Canada, you're going to want my Canadian link because, in fact, let me just show you where you can find the Canadian link. How about we do that? I'll just show you really quickly. And in Canada, the products are, the trio is exactly the same, but then I do recommend a couple of trade outs because things haven't launched in Canada yet. Texas, that's awesome. All right, so let me just share with you then before we jump off, and then we will reconvene tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. But you can always reach out to me, get into my DMs. In fact, yeah, I don't want you to do that because then you're not going to get the Canadian link. Because I do have for anybody that's on Instagram. I wonder if I'm right. I think I have it live right now where if you put total body reset or TBR in the comments, you'll get instant information because I was testing that last week and I think it's still true. So if anybody on Instagram wants that, not Facebook, you can do that, but then I'm going to come back after I'm done and talk to you. But you can try total body reset or TBR. Now for Canada, let me show you. So my website is kirstenliebelt.com. It's my first last name .com. So I always do this for you guys on Instagram. And then you can screenshot it and turn it around in your camera if you need to. But when you go to my site, it's super short and easy, okay? So you'll see my face. And then right here at the very top, I want to show you first for Canada. Right here at the top, there's the trio. And when you click on that, you're going to see, you'll see a Canadian link right there for you, okay? And then when you see the Canadian link and you tap on it, those products on the front page are a little different than what I just talked about, okay? But they are still incredibly, like they are matchy match, okay? Like instead of a gut primer, digestive enzymes, the fat burner is in a pill form, it's in a capsule form. So it's just different because things haven't launched. All right, now for everybody else, the total body reset is the second button right there, okay? Now, I have a 9-minute video that I did where I'm really laying this out more for you. I have my whole story written out for you here that you can just read. There are some testimonies down here. I know it's hard to see. There's some testimonies down here. There are free resources at the bottom. Like everything is there for you. At the bottom, it's the egg white protein bread. It's the keto lasagna. It's the protein blueprint. I was thinking I should have had, I think if it's on my main page, going back to my main page, I think the chocolate, yep, the chocolate pudding's on the main page. All of my contact is on the main page. How do you know you're on my main page? Because it's that picture. Okay. So just to kind of give you an idea of how you can start to just process some of this today, right? Some of you, you're already doing the total body reset. And I just love, love, love the testimonies that come from you guys. It just is, it's just amazing to me. You're proving the concept every single day that your body was created to heal and to be supported and to change the way it's delivering your result. Patty says, yep. Oh, Barb, this is the only plan that has worked for me. So Barb says, this is the only plan that has, and Barb is from Canada, by the way, just to let you know. Okay. So Barb is from Canada and she's doing, are you doing just the trio, Barb? I think she's doing just the trio. This is the only plan that has worked for me to start dropping pounds slowly, but it is working. Yep. And then incorporate the food ideas that we talk about, you know, like you can keep tweaking. You have unlimited of availability to tweak what you're eating according to your own body so that you can stop spiking insulin, stop spiking sugars, calling on insulin, and you can actually make it so that your results start to show up more consistently. And you have to ask yourself, where can I be in a year? because wow, like then you have the key, then you have this understanding forever. So that's really good. Patty says, I agree, Barb. Same here, just slower than I expected or hoped for. I will keep going though. Yep. I love that though, because Patty's like, this is the first time that I've had a program, that I was able to actually stick to and do through the holidays. And if I'm not mistaken, Patty, you didn't gain any weight over the holidays. Marilyn, slow and steady wins the race. Hang in there. I stay tuned in for Kirsten's inspiration education. I'm so grateful for this new beginning. My New York friend. And then let me know that TBR. If it didn't work, let me know. But you should have gotten something right away, like an automated response. But then you can talk to me. Then just talk to me and go, okay, yep, I saw that, but I have this question. I have that question. Can you send me a customized cart? Can you, whatever it is, right? So that's correct, Patty. Okay, good. That's good, good, good. So if you need anything from me today, please let me know. I would be more than happy to chat with anybody who you're like, I need help with my anxiety, or I need help with, like last week it was vertigo that you guys were talking about. That's crazy to me that your vertigo went away. That's amazing. But anyway, or getting off of all of the medications, etc. So, all right. Have such a good day. We'll be back here at 11 a.m. Central tomorrow. And have a really good Monday. Make it a really, really good one. Okay, very good, Barb. Yep. So in Canada, she found a something in a health food store that's more like the greens. Very, very good. Shannon, do I eat hard cheeses? Sure. I eat cheese, period. I limit my dairy. I'm not dairy free, but I do limit it because I know it'll stall weight loss. And nuts will do the same thing. And I'm like, oh man, I love dairy and I love nuts. So I have to tweak for myself. And I go in and out of, like over Christmas time, I probably eat more nuts than I normally would because I'm at a lot of people's homes and, you're doing a lot of different parties and whatever. And maybe you see things that aren't there for you to eat. And so that you just grab nuts and you tide yourself over, blah, blah, blah. But then I have to pull that back again. So I'm constantly going in and out as well. This is a living organism. This isn't a one and done. This is you're learning a new language. And so you have to give yourself grace for a little bit of a new language. That's how you do that. Oh, Barb, what was the name of that product? There's another Canadian lady asking. Do you have a name of that? And I think Barb is in Ontario. So I don't know where you are, but I think she's in Ontario. It's been really fun to expand my Canadian customer base this last year. That's been really fun. I mean, it's been for a few years, but it's just been fun. I'll see if she answers that though. But she said it was at a health food store. And it tastes like the green tea that I talk about. So she's in Alberta. Okay. Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's kind of like, yeah, it's just interesting. All right, so what I'll do though, because just in case she might have already jumped off, but I'm going to take a screenshot of your name. And if I see that she answers on here, like whatever, do I give you hope? I'm so glad. I was the poster child of such a mess that I hope I give everybody hope. I really do. But when Barb answers, if she answers, I'll come back and tell you. Okay. So there you go. You should have hope. And it should be alarming in a good way how many things that people turn around just by, oh, here we go. I've got the answer. Leganic, Leganic traditions. Leganic traditions, LEA. Organic, sorry. Organic traditions, super greens. So that would help your liver a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's probably not like the level of comprehensiveness. However, You do what you got to do, right? Do what you got to do, people. I wish that they would. I know. I have people asking me all the time, when are they going to launch these things in Canada? And I'm like, I don't know. It's usually a governmental, like, getting things cleared, getting ingredients cleared through governmental agencies and stuff like that. There you go. There you go. Perfect. I love how you help each other out. From Goodness Me store. Goodness Me. So if you have that, that's awesome. Way to go. Way to be resourceful, Barb. I love that. Because everything is about liver, gut, and insulin. So help your liver today. There we go. All right. Have such a good day, you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.